So if the right time, if we don't know what's coming, right, Gary and Nir, if we don't know what's coming, 6 months, 12 months, you're saying hold off, don't buy. What would you advise a investor, whether it be foreign or local, to do in these times? I think I've got a note here quickly, Gary, before you go. Sorry, is that we've lost value in money, but we've gained the most priceless commodity, which is time. And I think personally, this is a great time for people to hone on their skills. And like you said, people gardening and working on their beautiful gardens, but personal development is a possibility in these isolation times.
Well, we're getting into deep thought here because this is where few people go, because our global society is focused on distraction and not reflection. This is an incredible opportunity for us to come out of this better if we're willing to take the time and look in and say, what do I need to work on? So an investor, my advice to an investor who's looking to get involved in the real estate market in the US, what to do at this time. First and foremost is get educated and understand what the real business is about. And I think we've hit on that here, that it's more about understanding and educating, learning, not so much the what, but who. So educating yourself, number one. Number two, building a team and creating allies, because this isn't about us. It's about, like I said, this is about the people we're serving. So I have told, the members of Great Lakes REIA many, many, many times, I said, you have to build your business as if you're not there, because heaven forbid, what if a landlord gets COVID-19 and they're the person that did the repairs, collected the rent, they did it all themselves, and their business dies because they're in a hospital fighting for their life. So it is putting those elements in place, creating the team around you, educating yourself, understanding the market, connecting yourself with people that know more than you. It's engaging.
Yeah, I would say that if I'm doing an extension to what you say, Gary, and I fully agree, I think this is what I say to investors that ask me the same question. First of all, it's exactly as Gianni said. I'm saying you gain the time for sure, because a lot of people are asking questions because they gain the time, so they have time, to think and ask questions, and that's great. And I think that the answers is educate yourself is something that I believe that should always be done, but now there is an opportunity, even more in much greater extent, to do that. So for sure, I think it's a very good time to do that and prepare. And the second thing, or maybe it's one step behind it, is leverage. For me, by the way, it was always the key principle in the way I operate things. And I think that the understanding of the leveraging is just going to be much more important, because if, and I'm talking about educations to investors locally in Cleveland that I see in the US and also in Israel, saying, you know what, it's very simple. You can build a team and you can invest. Here it is. There is a phone. You can call the broker, or even it is not very different. Just a ticket plane away. Well, this distance is now much more essential, because people are considering putting much more considerations before they are taking a flight and going. And as you said, I don't think it's going to change quickly. And it's not just about the money. And I was always saying that the resources is not just money. It's money, but it's also time energy, and you know what, risk and health and everything that you put into it. So I think, and I realize that investors or entrepreneurs that took the time, and for me it's almost a decade, to build a platform, and it's already there, it means that this commodity, this platform, is now much more valuable, because the option to leverage that, instead of putting your resources and building a team, which is now elevated, there is much more price into building a team. There is always a price to do that, right? There is not just the risk, there is also the energy and time. And because of the times right now, and potentially opportunities in the short term, I think that in terms of education, every investor, regardless of how you invest, you must have your basics in place, like the investor's basics in place, how to check a market, how to check a deal, like basic questions you need to know about the real estate, about the process. Because if you're going to invest, you need to know the basic. So I think this is a must for anyone. And then on top of that, I would say, is learn how to leverage people, leverage systems, leverage platforms, so you can seize the opportunity and mitigate redundant risk, especially at these times.
And bring value. I think that value is one of the, whether it's trust, you have to bring something to help people along their journey. I think being an investor, the beautiful thing about this industry usually is, not all the time, is that when I have a deal, when someone sends me a deal, if it's a good deal, then it's a win-win. I win, he wins, we're happy, we move on to the next deal. And as Gary would know, you have partners along these. Gary's told me so many times, you have good friends who you've done deals with over the last 20 years that you still do deals with, and that's the real value that you kind of have. It's not about the money at the end of the day. It's about the relationships, the experience, and how you can help each other along the way, which is priceless.
Well, I think the part of the issue we have, and we could spend all day talking about this, it's not, the business in itself is very easy. The complexity is in the mind of the investor, because it's their approach to the business. So if I were to go out tomorrow and open a sandwich shop, there's no shortage today of outlets to buy a sandwich, even in the market we're in right now. They're delivering, they're carry out, they're still open. But if I don't have something unique to offer, a unique product, a unique system, a unique outlet, something different, I will struggle in that business. No different than a real estate investor. They're coming into the business focused on what's in it for them, instead of what can I deliver for someone else? How can I deliver value, creating what I call irresistibility, that it will be painful for them to go somewhere else as opposed to doing business with me. But most investors don't. They approach this business with, I've got $100,000 and I want to invest it, and I need to make X percentage back on the money, and I want to do it as cheap as possible, and it's all about me. Well, when it's all about you, when there's a hole in the boat, it's going to be all about you.
Yeah.
But when you have passengers in the boat that are keeping you afloat, you're going to figure out how to fix that leak, because it's about them and not about you.
And that is universal in business across the board, whether it's investing, whether you have a pancake shop, networking with other pancake shops, networking with other automotive shops, sharing knowledge, sharing information. That is the communities that, you know, entrepreneurs have. That's when you have real power, you know.